Good afternoon and welcome. Today I'm working on light bars for the trailer. Alright. The idea is I'd like to have a red and two whites. A red switch and two white switches. Of course it's gonna have a white switch. How else are you gonna turn on the whites? Here's the funny one. This pin nailer is the bee's knees. Love it. I actually haven't used it yet. Isaac keeps using it. Nails are about yay long. Didn't even look at how long they are. Don't really care. Just a proof of concept at this point. Alright, so I'm gonna make a little box for these rather than making them out of a single piece of wood. Isaac likes the white side of the 1/4 inch plywood better than the red side. I didn't consult anybody else. I just went with what Isaac wanted. Good afternoon. Moving forward today, while I'm working on the trailer, Isaac will be making, what would you even call them?
Little light boxes.
Isaac will be making light switch boxes that will have 3 white LEDs, 1 red LED, and a switch. Alright, these are the prototypes that were made first. At first I was going to try to put them in a 4 in a row and 1 switch. And the wood I was using is just too thick. So I ended up putting a router on the back there and routing out places for the wires. But then I would have had to also drill out every single hole because the little screws we have to go in there are so tiny. So I thought, you know what? I'm not doing that one. My next thought was to make a shallow box. Hold on. My next thought was to make a shallow box, which I started to drill and test out the different hole sizes for the switch. And it was working as a prototype, so we're going with this design. And here's what Isaac's come up with. This one is pre-drilled and it will act as the template. So it's got 4 medium-sized holes for the wires, 8 teeny tiny holes for the screws, and 1 huge hole on the left for a switch. And Isaac is our man on light plates today, so he'll be making all of them. What makes Isaac such an expert on boxes, you might ask? Isaac spends his hobby time creating Harry Potter wands out of wood, and then he creates custom-made boxes for each wand using 1x4 lumber and 1/4 inch plywood. I'm gonna walk through it with you?
Huh?
You wanna walk through it together?
What do you mean?
Like once you start drilling, walk through what you're doing so that you know you're on the right track. I think it might be easier to do this. Throw this drill bit on there for all the holes that are for the screws.
Yeah, it works.
Instead of the step.
I like it.
And go like this.
Go this way. Ah, it works.
This is the scrap one?
Yeah.
Alright, so take this one.
Which one's the original?
This one. Oh, is it not? Where is the original?
I'm not sure.
I don't have the original.
I thought you had it over there.
So did I.
Oh, the original's over here. It's a template. Okay.
So, template. So if you go like this, clamp these all together at one end. Clamp them together at this end, it'll be sort of out of your way for now.
Oh, I will lower this a lot.
No, it needs to be lower just a hair. It needs to be as high as it can possibly be. So that it'll go through all layers of this.
And you also need to
Just
fit.
there we go, that's good enough. Then you can take this and drill. You can drag this forward. Right on there. Just looking at
Extra.
Alright.
Camera-wise.
Now, these all
Gravity-wise.
in place, you can drill the whole stack. So drill 1, 2,
1, 2,
3, 4.
Fuck yours. Right, so is this just as simple as putting it in the thing and then drilling, or is it more
You
complicated?
can clamp all 6 of them together again.
Cool, let's.
That kid nailed it. That's the first time he's ever done anything for me, ever, where he was just in charge of it. He nailed it from start to finish. He learned a bunch of stuff, made a bunch of mistakes along the way that helped him learn, like the positive mistakes. Man, super proud of Isaac. Excellent job, kiddo. Now I'm inside the camper. The camper is inside my garage, so the lighting is obviously very low, so I'm using a spotlight. So it's gonna look like it's nighttime, but it's not. I'm going to start mounting the light brackets underneath the bunks under here so that I can mess up and do a crappy job and figure out all the little weird idiosyncrasies before I get to these ones that you can see out here. So that's the plan. Alrighty. Just finished up the installation of the light switch assemblies. I now have to make a light switch plate and then connect the power source. But the assemblies are in place. I'm going to illuminate them and show you the general feel. Behind me you have the upper bunk, still some carpet there, with lights overhead, and then in front of me, which is to the rear of the trailer, there are lights for the 2 rear bunks. There are also lights underneath for the bottom bunks. By the front door handle here, I'll also have a light switch that allows me to turn on an additional light on each one of these so that it gets even brighter. That actually, the point of that switch is so that you can just turn on the one light. And then the security feature I mentioned is that. Let me kill this, I just realized this is still burning. There we go. So for a security feature, we also have the red low light situation. There will be a switch by the door here for red low light situations. When maybe middle of the night you don't want to wake everybody up, or something is going on outside the trailer and you want to be able to get out there without raising much attention to yourself before exiting. Whether that's to grab a can of bear spray and a spotlight or some other deterrent. The red light allow you to do that without being noticed before exiting. And that's that. Next thing to do is to create the switch plate, which will go right by the front door. And it'll have 2 switches, and then create a connection from that switch plate to the power source, which will be one of these Ryobi 18-volt batteries, so that we can always have power even if we're nowhere near a campground. These lights will always be connected to something, and if we take the van away, you don't even need a minivan to make these lights work. Just one of these batteries, and I'll bring. I think I have 8 of them, and I'll bring all 8 of them anyway because we're doing a bit of a work project before we begin our trip, or as the first 2 weeks of our trip. So I'll have most of my Ryobi tools with me anyway, which means I'll have a ton of these batteries with me. The last thing I need to make to finish the light project is to make a power station. I'm going to be using the base of a Ryobi drill, and I'm going to be cutting a 3/4 inch plywood foundation to mount it on. I'm not sure what the tolerances are between these cavities and these protrusions, so I've got to sort of experiment with it before I bother making a bunch of these to see what fits and what doesn't fit. That's the bottom line. Bottom line. It fits. Perfect. So now I need to create a base that I can screw solid to the floor of the camper. And then this can be sort of a rough and tumble pedestal that I don't have to protect or be careful with. Not fragile in any way. Alright, switching it off. There we go. Can you kill the spot?
Hi, Benny.
Aha!
Ha!
Working?
Good.
Okay. Hey, good doggy. Got it.
Yeah.
There. Give you an idea of what I've been doing to hide the wires. Coming out of whatever the source is. In this case, my battery box. Putting as much concealing tape on as I can get away with. And then I do it in little sections. I actually had Kylie come in here today and say, how are the wires hooked up? And I said, thank you. I said, they're taped, and thank you. And with that final adjustment, the project is done.
In the red light, I thought this was the orange side, and I was like,
Oh, really good.
okay. I think it's ready for vertically. Fine, not vertically. He's coming in. Whoa. He's coming in.
Longitudinally, if you're looking for that big
Yeah,
fancy
I'm
word,
trying to find it. Hey.
the long way.
Hold on.
Hey, what are you sharing a sleeping bag with Isaac?
I wish you would. That would be so cute.
What are you doing, you silly?
Oh, I went in. I went in.
She's a sillster. White lights on.
I can.
Let's turn all the lights on.
And then.
I wish you could do like this every night.
Hanging out in the camper with the dog? Or just hanging out with the dog?
Hopefully she sleeps right here, so I'll be able to share some space with her.
Oh, I'm ready for bed. I really am gonna go. I am gonna go to bed.
Go inside.
I can fall asleep in here right now. There's a fan.
Yeah. Oh, are you serious?
Oh, she laid down and everything.
Where'd she go?
Honey, you
Oh my giddy aunt. We got that on camera.
Yeah!